So we've lost Bishan Singh Bedi, who was much more than just a cricketer. We all know him as a spin legend of his time, a very outspoken man, a very fearless man. I had many an occasion to interact with him. We had produced a show called Bat Chat in the past, where he was one of the panelists, and his off-show comments were a treat to hear. I can't even repeat that. I have CS with me, and CS has spent a lot of time with Bishan Bedi when he was around, and there are so many anecdotes we have to share. But CS, I want to basically begin this show on the line that we have titled this show, which is basically that Bishan Bedi paid a price for being outspoken. Now, a couple of quick instances before I toss it to you. One is, of course, the fact that in 1974, there was a reported open spat with Ajit Wadekar. Northamptonshire, the county for which he played, did not renew his contract, which really hurt him. Then later, as cricket manager, Azharuddin was the captain, and Azhar chose to bat at Lords, and he openly said that Azhar should have fielded, which made Sunil Gavaskar write in his column that if Bedi has any sense of decency, he should resign. Go back to 1978-79 when Bedi was replaced as captain by Sunil Gavaskar, and Bedi openly said that Gavaskar had a hand in it. And last but not the least, when Gavaskar was insulted by some MCC stewards and he had turned down an offer by MCC to honor him, Bedi said, and I quote, he was ashamed to have played alongside him. CS, there is a strange dichotomy within the man. His love for cricket cannot be questioned. The fact that he was an outstanding spinner and a legend cannot be questioned. But why did he have that other side to him, which sort of derailed him? I know for sure, and you know it better, that there were several contracts which did not come his way. He had to turn down lucrative contracts while others made merry. So let's begin with this side of Bedi.
I think before starting anything, I and you both are so privileged जिन्होंने इंडिया में दो चीजें देखी है, एक ताजमहल और एक बिशन सिंह बेदी. So, I mean, talking about Paji is very, very, that I become very emotional because I have spent a lot of time, and especially during that Supreme Court case in match fixing, in spot fixing that time. And we used to sit together in Supreme Court, court number 2, court number 1, and spent many a moments where he recounted a lot of things. And I mean, it's a privilege to, just know this Sardar of cricket. But yes, he has paid a lot of price, a very heavy price for being outspoken. I don't know much about Lala Amarnath. He was the first one who was very outspoken, and he paid price. Then later on, his sons like Jimmy Amarnath and Surinder Amarnath. But to me, I think during our time, we only knew one Sardar, and that was Bishan Singh Bedi. I remember during one of the hearings, Chief Justice of India T.S. Thakurji, he asked Bishan Singh Bedi in few months, 2-3 months, he was about to reach his 70th, birthday. And that time in open court, he asked, Bedi Saab is sitting there. They were all his fans, when they were deciding about the age factor of the administrator, and they were about to bar all the administrators above 70 years. So Bedi Saab was there. They asked him in open court, is it a good suggestion or are you for it? And Bedi Saab started with, I'll be in 2-3 months, I'll be 70, and I think people like me should rest at home and contribute in other ways, in inspiring the generations, but not by making money or dirting the cricket or something. He used some word, and everybody laughed there and took it very seriously. That's how all these, whether it was Sharad Pawar or any other, people, they were barred from, becoming the BCCI administrator. That was his character. He knew that he would have been given this charge of, there was a time in Supreme Court hearing, during the Supreme Court hearing, that they were about to ask Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi to become the caretaker administrator in BCCI. A lot of things were happening there. But he was very adamant. He was not there to get his pie of, in the administration, but he was there to clean the cricket. And later on, he also became very bitter, like me or you, anybody, that all these political stooges, they again, got their hands on the BCCI administration and nothing changed, for which we all fought for about 6 years, but nothing changed. But yes, when a great man is no longer with us. And one more thing, I remember during one of these sittings only, we were coming out of, Supreme Court, and suddenly we met Mr. Harish Salve, senior lawyer, who started the case of BCCI. Later on, he became government kind of, sympathizer. But that time, during one of those times when there was talks about naming this stadium or that stadium after some politician or something, so he told us one kissa कि कैसे जब जालंधर में फर्स्ट मैच हुआ था 1980 समथिंग, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर द एग्जैक्ट ईयर, बर्टन पार्क, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच, जिसमें डबल सेंचुरी गायकवाड़ जी ने की थी, अंशुमन गायकवाड़. बिफोर दैट मैच पीसीए केम टू बेदी साहब कि बेदी साहब आपकी कंट्रीब्यूशन कमाल है, हम इसे बिशन सिंह बेदी स्टेडियम का नाम रखना चाहते हैं. बेदी साहब ने कहा, अरे मैं मर थोड़ी भी गया, कम ऑन यार, मेरे मरमदाता इंतजार करो, don't come up with such lousy proposals. कहता I'm not politician, I'm not ये जो अपनी जिंदगी में वो करें, please, I'm living very healthy life, and please don't even come up with such a proposal. But in the hindsight, if I look at it, you can see a lot of stadiums on the living, politician's name or something. But again, this was Bedi's character, and I think we all must salute to the legend that was called, Bishan Singh Bedi.
बिल्कुल सही आप कह रहे हैं, क्योंकि बहुत कम लोग होते हैं इस दुनिया में जो दलेर होते हैं, जो दिल खोल के बात अपनी करते हैं, जो निडर होते हैं, और बिशन बेदी वो ऐसे शख्स थे और हमेशा ही रहेंगे हम लोगों के जहन में. और उनके बारे में ये भी कहा जाता था कि वो क्रिकेट के कॉन्शियस कीपर थे. वो जो एक चीज होती है जमीर इंसान में, उस चीज को वो पकड़ के रखते थे. चूंकि CS आपने ये DDCA का जिक्र किया, आई वांट टू मेक अ क्विक रेफरेंस to the fact that they had wanted to name a stand after Bishan Singh Bedi, and he refused. He was very incensed because the Kotla, Firoz Shah Kotla Stadium was renamed after Arun Jaitley, and his quote on that is pretty telling. And within quotes, I repeat that he said that the place of the administrators is in their glass cabins. Late Arun Jaitley, I'm told, was an able politician, so it's Parliament, not a cricket stadium, which needs to remember him for posterity. And yet today, CS, one of our most prominent stadiums, is named after our Prime Minister, and the Firoz Shah Kotla Stadium is named after Arun Jaitley. But Bishan Paji stuck to his stand.
बिशन सिंह बेदी साहब की अगर कहानियां सुनने लगे तो आई थिंक कभी वक्त हुआ या कभी हिम्मत हुई तो एक किताब लिखने का जरूर मन है, सिर्फ उन एनेक्डोट्स पे जो उन्होंने सुनाए. कमाल की शख्सियत थे, कमाल के व्यक्ति थे, और एक ऐसे क्रिकेटर, एक स्पिनर जो मैच्योर होता है ना, आस्क अनिल कुंबले और आस्क एनीबडी, अश्विन फॉर दैट मैटर, एक स्पिनर मैच्योर होता है 30, 31, 32 में, और 32 में बिशन पाजी को रिटायर कर दिया था इन्हीं पॉलिटिशियंस ने. उस टाइम के इसी तरह के पॉलिटिशियंस थे जिनके टाइम में करप्शंस भी हुआ, जिनके टाइम में बहुत कुछ स्कैंडल्स हुए. एंड ही टोल्ड मी अबाउट वन इंसिडेंट, हाउ ही वाज रेस्टिंग इन वन ऑफ द स्ट्रीट्स इन मुंबई. उन दिनों में स्ट्रीट सिर्फ और सिर्फ कप्तान को मिला करते थे, बाकी सब में एक एक दो दो लड़के हुआ करते थे. तो उस स्ट्रीट में और भी कई लोग बैठे हुए थे, आई डोंट टू नेम अगेन. बट सडनली एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर आया उस मुंबई के होटल में, फेमस होटल, और वहां पर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर आया विद मतलब कि वर्बली to tell him that you are no more the captain, after that Pakistan tour, and how Sunil Gavaskar has been named captain, and the first thing that came out of his hand, oh bloody that little BBB kind of, so he never called Sunil Gavaskar little master, he always called him little, the other word. But that was a rivalry, or that was, but again, let me tell you, there was not even a single reference when Bishan Singh Bedi has actually said that Sunil Gavaskar was not a great batsman. Not even instance. He always called him the greatest. He said, of course, Bradmans, all these players, they were, classy. But जो उन्होंने अपने सामने खेलते हुए देखा, जिनको flourish करते हुए था, he always thought that Gavaskar was the greatest. So there was not a मतलब कि वो problem नहीं थी उनको cricketing, उनको problem
Yes,
थी
but
the
what I want to
politics of Mumbai and politics of North.
CS, what I want to know from you is, because of your very past and long and deep association with Bishan Paji, the fact that you spent so much time, there are a lot of viewers who, over a period of time, could not understand why there was such a deep divide in Bishan Bedi's mind with the Bombay club, and he absolutely hated the Bombay club, and there is no other word that I have to describe that. He also had a very prominent and open fallout with Sunil Gavaskar, whatever those reasons may have been. But why do you think he had such a massive problem with the Bombay club? Was it the fact that they were? He thought they were more manipulative, that they could play the field better.
Yes.
What was it?
You know, in every conversation or wherever he spoke about Mumbai, it was all about their politics. It was about the Mumbai lobby, Mumbai Cricket Association lobby. He never liked that. In fact, when he picked the team or when he inspired that Delhi team for their first, Ranji Trophy victory over Mumbai in the finals, if you remember, you talked to any of the players, Surinder Khanna or Mohinder Ramanath or anybody, during that time, Vinay Lamba and everybody. I think it was his inspiration. It was his contribution that, morale boosting of the team, that we can beat Mumbai. He hated Mumbai cricket. Not for that cricketing matter, but for their, political reasons. He hated them. He wanted to beat them. He made a team of. He prepared that 11 or 15 in Delhi cricket that so proudly defeated them and lifted that Ranji Trophy. So that was also one of the reasons. तो एक तो खैर वो भी था कि जो एक continued hatred or continued rivalry, I would say, healthy rivalry between Delhi and Mumbai. But more than that, after 1978-79 tour of Pakistan, when he was removed as a captain, and when he could have played for another 5-6 years, easily, he was obviously made to sit out and then never brought back into the Indian team. I think that was also because of one person or one association, that was Mumbai lobby, and one person, Sunil Gavaskar, because he was captaining most of the times. But again, that's how it was. And Bishan Singh Bedi, I won't say he died as a bitter man, but yes, he still died as a rebel. He still, till the time he was, mentally agile, or, till few months back, and there was a stroke, and then he literally started, भूलने की जो problem हो जाती है. So I think before that, he always used to talk about the Delhi-Mumbai rivalry and how उन्होंने कितनी बार IPL के ठुकराए. I still remember that time when Tiger Pataudi became the IPL chairman. Sorry, not the chairman, but the IPL governing board, member. So that time, if I'm right, they used to, or what I have heard is, they used to pay rupees 2 crore to every, this person who was in the governing body. And this was offered before Tiger Pataudi to Bishan Singh Bedi, or during that time. But Bishan Singh Bedi had a clear no for all this. He never thought that IPL is a cricket. He was against this kind of cricket. He thought this is spoiling the younger generation. He thought that this is maligning the name of cricket or the gentleman game. So he was very adamant. We have seen many cricketers like Tiger Pataudi who compromised, or who had got into the board and took money, or what, for whatever reasons, I don't know. I never had that kind of conversation with Tiger Pataudi, but for surely, I had this conversation with Bishan Singh Bedi, and he was very, very rigid about this. He said, to hell with this 2 crore or 5 crore. Even if they give me 10 crores, I'm not going to sign on their dotted lines. I'm not for all this.
Talking about T20, there are cricketers of his generation like a Michael Holding, who openly says that he would never commentate on a T20 cricket or the IPL, and he says that's not cricket. So that is one way of putting it. But Bishan Bedi was very, very skeptical of T20 cricket. He felt that the franchise influence would destroy Indian cricket, would have a very adverse impact. And once he also complained that his fellow cricketers kept quiet, and there was a comment from him when he said, "Buzdil hai ye sare." So, CS, again, my point is that there are certain ways of putting things, but Bishan Bedi had this way of punching the other person straight on his mouth, and that may not have gone down well with a lot of key people.
Arup, there was a time in mid 70s when Kerry Packer was coming up, and all the big cricketers, everybody from around the world, they signed on Kerry Packer, contracts and took big money. And that time, big money was $10,000 or 70,000, between $10,000 to $70,000 contract. So during that time when cricketers were not even paid, 8-10 रुपए और 20 रुपए और 100 रुपए वाली दिहाड़ी कर रहे थे, during that time, Bishan Singh Bedi, I mean, from India almost, I was told by Bedi Saab only that time that there were 5 cricketers at least, which he knew of, that who were ready to sign with Kerry Packer, and they had all packed their bags and they were ready to leave. It was only up to, because that time Bishan Singh Bedi was the captain. It was up to the Bishan Singh Bedi's consent. Bishan Singh Bedi was getting the maximum money. Remember this also. Whatever the contract, 1 रुपए का था या 7 रुपए का था, but the biggest money was offered to Bishan Singh Bedi, because if he signs that contract, बाकी के 4-5 भी जो तैयार बैठे हुए थे वो भी आ जाएंगे, and the team will be completed there. So this was a time after 71 war. There was a lot of nationalism. जैसे आजकल का तो fake nationalism है, but that time it was a different kind of emotions. So सब लोग देख रहे थे बिशन सिंह बेदी की तरफ, ये आज जाएंगे कल जाएंगे और कैसे. And suddenly बिशन सिंह बेदी, he said, I had a long thought about this. I really had, जिससे एक आधे आदमी से मुझे बात भी करनी थी, जो who I thought was very close to me or would always give me a good advice. सब कुछ करने के बाद, then I decided, I called up whosoever the agent or ये or something, he told some name but I don't remember, and I said no. उनके no करते he got immediately, he got, apart from one person from Mumbai, which we just talked about, he got calls from everybody. Paji, ye kya kar rahe ho? Paji, ye kya? Please don't do this. Please, we are ready to go. It is only up to you. He said, nothing doing. We will play for our country. We'll play for our pride. So in that way, I think he was the most patriotic, I would say, of all. So, but again, that was a different era, different times. But Bishan Singh Bedi, to me, was not just a rebel, but he was a true patriotic cricketer. He instilled that belief in everybody's mind that you can win wherever you are playing, whether you're playing for Punjab, Delhi, or anywhere. You talk to any old cricketers, they always will tell you stories how they got inspired, how their motivation level or how their energy levels were lifted by Bishan Singh Bedi.
Yes, we are a bit short on time. So what I'll do is I'll name about 4 controversies quickly, and would need your reaction to it, and then we will wind up. So controversy number 1 was when he declared India's first innings at 306 for 6 at Sabina Park in 1976, when the West Indies bowlers were pummeling our batters with their short pitch bowling on an uneven surface. That Sabina Park pitch was also called like it was like playing on glass. What is your reaction to it? Did he do the right?
It was a right decision. I spoke to him about this once or maybe many times, but he was always of the opinion that अगर वो नहीं किया होता तो bowling करने के लिए भी कोई नहीं बचना था. It was a very, very fast pitch, and it was a very dirty spell by the West Indians. They were not letting anybody play there, and last के जो 4 थे, आपको तो मालूम थे, वो 10 रन बनाएंगे या 20, और वो रिटायर हट हो जाते तो bowling भी कौन करता. And that was a time जब आपके ओपनर्स, जो ओपनिंग बॉलर्स थे, जो पेस बॉलर, वो 3 या 4 ओवर करते थे, सिर्फ बॉल को पुरानी करते थे, रोल करते थे ग्राउंड में, और उसके बाद ये हमारे 4 स्पिनर्स आ जाते थे. So I think from his point of view, it was absolutely right.
Controversy number 2, this happened 2 years later after 76, which is 78, when he conceded an ODI against Pakistan in Sahiwal, when he felt Sarfraz Nawaz had used the bouncer excessively. CS?
Um, no definite answer from his side, I think. But later on, maybe once or something, I think he regretted that decision. He
Okay.
said that maybe it was an emotional time, but again, that time I felt this was right. But again, no definitive, I would say, answer from his side.
Number three controversy in Chennai in 1977, the John Levers Vaseline incident, where he had apparently, allegedly used some Vaseline on his brow to
Yes.
keep sweat away, and then the ball started swinging prodigiously in the evening, and we all who saw the match knew what happened next. Your thoughts, yes?
He was very sure that he was a cheater. He was cheating on, by using the Vaseline. He never had a second thought about that. It was, been done, by his skill or anything. He was always adamant about this thought of his. And about when one more instance I remember, again you will also laugh. He was also very adamant that Muralidharan should not have played the Test cricket. He always believed he was a javelin thrower and not the real cricketer or the normal cricketer. So on two things, he was always had a very, very set views.
So that was my controversy number 4 point, which you've already given
Okay,
your opinion
okay, okay.
on Muralidharan being a javelin thrower. But I'll end on a different point, on a nicer issue, because this got too tight. That he did mentor people like Maninder Singh, Murli Karthik, and Sunil Joshi, and someone like Virat Kohli, who himself said that when Bishan Paji was around under 15, under 17, under 19, I kept ducking him because he would emphasize so much on fitness. And he himself said that it is ironical that Virat himself redefined fitness, which is a legacy of Bishan Bedi.
बेदी साहब से मैंने एक बात बिल्कुल क्लियर कट मुझे याद है इन वन ऑफ द मीटिंग्स आई आस्क्ड हिम मैं कहा पाजी आप तो फिट नहीं थे आपका तो इंडिया गेट बनता था सुनते थे हमने भी कुछ क्लिप्स देखे और आप बाद में फिटनेस फ्रीक हो गए तो ही एग्जैक्टली टोल्ड द सेम थिंग ही एडमिटेड कहते द लैक ऑफ फिटनेस वाज प्रोबेबली वन ऑफ द रीजंस कि मेरा करियर बड़ा नहीं हुआ अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट पॉलिटिक्स एंड ऑल एंड एवरीथिंग he always believed that fitness should be the key for any cricketer and especially in the modern times जब आपको ये सब वनडे भी खेलना है टेस्ट भी खेलना है और आपको डोमेस्टिक और बाकी की भी जो अब तो फिर बाद में T20 भी आ गया ये सब कुछ आपको इतना क्रिकेट खेलना तो अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम जब इंडिया अच्छा नहीं खेला आपको याद है एक बार अच्छा नहीं खेल रहे थे इंग्लैंड से उन्होंने कहा था समुंदर में फेंक देना चाहिए इस टीम को so when he always believed that cricketers should be very fit like tennis players or badminton players or like an athlete and he regretted that he was not probably one of the fittest players and he was not a fittest player that's how his career was also limited.
So we'll end on that point. We will remember Bishan Singh Bedi for a very long, long time, not only for his legacy, but for his outspokenness. Yes, he did pay a price for being outspoken, but then that is the man he was. And he applied the same rules on himself, like CS has been explaining, giving you those instances where he never spared himself and he took those tough decisions. So let him go in peace, and we will remember him in our own way.
Yes.
Thanks. Yes,
Om
for your.
Shanti.
Thank you.
Yes.